Okay, guys, this is The Little Rose of Peace, your mom, and it just inspired me. It just reeled me to this music composing mode. It's Thursday and I'm alone in this house right now. Nobody could take me to the library. I also wore one of my...
all focused on him, or you could go if Jean talks. She asks a question, something, because I really want her to talk about China too. And our focus really is lives transformed by the blood of the Lamb.
So I'm discovering something right now, the capabilities of my MacBook. When I am here, there's no internet connection. My nephew cut it off. So I'm depending on whatever is available in the neighborhood, Linksys. But I really want to record a melody that came to me after being inspired by the Schindler's List musical score, or the one who composed. The musicians, the composers will understand what I'm talking about, but I just want to record it, and at the same time record some of the music that I have composed already, although I cannot remember it. First of all, I want to record this operatic sound that I did for Bulung Bulungan, which was basically a song for Imelda Marcos. It just goes like this. I'm just gonna record it. So if anything happens to me, we will have a record of why I did this. Because Bulung Bulungan...
like this, very slowly, slowly. Oh, you don't need to do anything. No, this one's this. Try, play with it. My boss said I have to sing. Okay. Don't touch this. One. Hi, you're watching Welcome to La La La.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop that and just record this. I know I have already told this while I was in jail, and so if you are really recording what I'm doing, because I know I have composed several music melody while I was in jail, and I was really hoping that you have already recorded it. But in case you haven't, I will just record some of those that I can recall were my compositions. Okay. It goes like this. This is about the spending of Imelda Marcos. So it went like this. Oh, ano ba itong nagawa ko? Gastos doon, gastos dito. Ginto, diamante, brilyante, safiro. Gawa ng... I forgot the word. Na tao. Anyway, it was a complete song, but it was supposed to be a song of Imelda Marcos that she was already regretting what she has done. And as I said, that is for the only musical, I guess, that I composed. A full length, 2 hour, about the ants, black ants and red ants, but it was a political satire of the Marcos regime, and Imelda was singing that. And then there is the black ant song that goes, kutis kong maitim di makita sa dilim, ngunit hindi ang ugali. Tulad din ng mata, di gaanong makita. Anyway, I can't recall the whole thing. And then, remember, before I said I composed my second love song, there was only one love song that I have composed because I was so inspired to this person from Candelaria. And I think he would have the tape recording of my song. And it is like this. Cuddle. La 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 la. It's letting the candle blow amidst the storm, because we were fighting against a social a tradition. I composed it at the moment that he and his whole family basically wanted to rescue me from the marriage that I had before. They didn't mind even if I was already married, and the whole family didn't mind. It was really so surreal. Or I was so inspired. I was an instructor at the U.S. Naval facility at the time, but through a friend of mine, these two friends actually, one of my co-instructor was a fellow teacher of the woman he was about to marry. And the family knew that he was only marrying for the sake of marrying, because he has already waited for me for 5 years. It's really, oh my God, it's really, I just want to record this because I think it's really one of the most beautiful love stories that can be told. Is because it's about a man's faithfulness, a Filipino man's faithfulness to a woman. And I'm just looking at it right now from outside of my own life story as an author and director. And I think even to this date, that this man really exemplified how it is to love with a love like Jesus. Anyway, he waited for me. Even if I have, dumped him, he waited for me. Somehow he knew in his heart that I could not have done what I have done if it were up to me alone. But anyway, that was the song that I wrote. It was about, and that's the first love song that I've written up to this time. I'm 56 years old. At that time, I was like 25, 27, 28. No, I got married at 23, so it must have been before my 30s. I could not believe that his parents and his sisters, they're all professional and godly people, but because they loved their brother and their son, they didn't mind being a social outcast in our very conservative Philippine culture, especially in Candelaria, Zambales. People would tell them, "My goodness, why did you let your son marry?" Or take her back when she has done this wrong to your son, or so on. But it's more important for them, rather than to answer to the people around them. It was more important for them, for their son and their brother to be happy, because they know that he will be happy with me. So the happiness of their brother and their son is more important than what people would say, because he came home from Saudi Arabia to marry. And do you imagine that? I didn't even realize the bigness of that but I told you already that I prayed to God on the eve of his wedding. I prayed to God at St. Joseph's Church in Olongapo City, and I just told God, I haven't even read the Bible at that time, but I said, "Lord, if this is from you, if you really meant him to be my husband, please, make it happen. But if not, take the feeling out of me." Because I was feeling at that time, being an abused woman, this is my salvation. This is my Prince Charming coming back to rescue me. And I said, "But if this is not from you, take it out of me." And the next day when I woke up, the whole feeling, last greed, whatever it is, was gone. I cannot believe that God could take out the feeling of love. And it's just, if you take a look at it, it's like, this is my salvation. But then I prayed to God, if this is not from you, please take it out. And when I woke up the next morning, all the feeling is gone. And I had to tell him and call him. I don't know, I can't even recall how it happened, but I told him, "Go ahead with your wedding." And I remember Ate Luchi de La Paz, the sister of the Ate Vicky de La Paz, told me, she said, "Hindi pa siya lumalakad, pinutol mo na ang kanyang mga paa." And she's referring to the wife that my boyfriend was gonna marry. It was like, it's not her fault whatever happened to me. That was the word that made me think also and made me go to the Lord and pray and ask Him if that is from Him, if the relationship that was brewing up was from Him. It was a prayer of somebody who loves the Virgin Mary. Ate Lucy is dead now. Her name is Luz. Her name means light. She was the spinster sister of Ate Vicky. Wow. Ate Vicky de la Paz, Luz of the light, light of the peace. Oh, anyway, she's the one who lives in the house on Triangle Home. I mean, what do you call it? Triangle Homes. You know, on the same street where Ninoy Aquino and the family lives, Times Street. That was, I mean, it was in that house, in her bedroom, and she told me, you know, she met the people that have helped be a balm, BALM, to soothe me during the times that I was suffering. And she also knew about this beautiful man. She told me those words. She says, you know, the bride-to-be, the bride that waited for this man, she said, she is like a baby. She hasn't even started to crawl, and you cut her arms and legs. And that kind of made me meditate upon our activity, our plans, you know, for this love story. And so it made me go to the St. Joseph's Church in Olongapo City, and I really prayed sincerely to the Lord, asking, seeking Him, Lord, if this is not from you, take it away from me. The next morning, the feelings were all gone, and I told Him, go ahead, please, marry this woman. Which means that no matter how we think something is so right, God would send somebody to tell us, you know, if it's not from Him. Anyway, the song was like that. I think, you know, that song, Loss of Love, I think it's inspired by that, because it's a little bit close to the melody. And I said it like this, cuddle, da 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 da. And then the refrain goes, if he kept the tape, I still have the tape of the lyrics and the melody, because that's how we communicated at times, is sending voice tapes to each other. So if he still has it, he would have it. And then the ones that I'm talking about, the twins, I know it was videotaped. My Bulung Bulungan was videotaped, because we already have VHS at that time, was videotaped by, it's twins. They were angels or dancers in my films, but they were my architect for the house, for our house, who added, he was my co-instructor at Columban College, and she's an architect. Her sister is a civil engineer. They were both instructors in Columban College, and I paid her to help me design the addition of my house in Santa Monica. Her sister, I think there were 5 sisters. Her sister was married to this man who was also an employee at SRF. Her sister had, I think, a son and a twin daughters, and they were cast in my Bulung Bulungan in Columban College. The girls were elementary school students in Columban, and I got them to play angels or dancers or ballet dancers for Bulung Bulungan in my play in Columban College when I was there. Anyway, mother just went to the hospital to sick because she had a headache, and she just died there while waiting for the doctor. So this architect that she ended up marrying the husband, the father of those twins, and I think she is now in the United States. They should have a record, a VHS of the whole play that I did, where this is the one that I said I localized it because I made it an attack on my Uncle Dick Gordon about his, I localized it, I changed it, so it changed from what it was in when I played it in LaSalle. It was about the Marcos regime, but I localized it a little to make it more appealing to the audience. But it was basically written as a political satire of the Marcos regime. And so when I did it for Columban College, I localized it, but I used it against Dick Gordon. I was attacking his colors and his color coding, all the jeepneys and all that, in my ignorance, because I really didn't know. I was just a radical young composer, story writer, and so on. So anyway, Lisa, his right hand or executive assistant or whatever, Lisa Zavalia, the first cousin of my husband, watched it. She also graduated from UP, so she's exposed to real good theater productions, but she has expressed admiration for the play. But maybe I'm really a good director. anyway, just to record this, to record the circumstances in a composer, story writer's life that inspires us to really, come up with music. But I will emphasize again and again, it's the Spirit of God, the Spirit of righteousness and goodness and peace and love and beauty that really inspires anybody to write good music. On the other hand, it's the spirit of the devil, it's the demons, the angels of darkness that inspire anybody to think, to act on evil. Earlier, I had some music birthed in me again by the Spirit of God, and I hope I would be able to use that for my Fat God, Thin God, the theater. But I'm already thinking something right now that I would like to make it a contest, like maybe it can make even more money by making it a contest, because there was one cameraman, I don't even remember and recall how he came into my life. Driver, he was a driver of a limousine. That's right, I think that's how I met him. I looked for a limousine driver, and he was a driver of limousine, and then he happens to be a camera guy too, and he suggested to me that why don't we have a contest, among young filmmakers, camera guys. So that's what I'm thinking right now, is instead of doing that, we will have this contest, put the book, convert it into a movie, and see their approach would be. But at the same time, I already have Evelyn Vargas and Adolfo and Jim Libiran and Soxy Topacio to make a consortium for the masterpiece that it would be, by PETA and anyway. But we can also do for Hollywood, to have its own version, for the Hollywood filmmakers to have their own version, or international filmmakers for that matter. So now I think I really have to look for, right now, that's what I'm gonna do, is to look for the publishing company who would buy the rights for the Fat God, Thin God first. The music, come on, revive in me the music. Revive in me the music.